Which form of Buu is the mightiest Majin Buu? This is a question that has been debated by fans for decades, and rightfully so because, let's face it, the power scaling in the Buu Saga is beyond confusing. So what I'd like to do in this video is take a fresh look at the source material in order to come up with a definitive answer. Let's take a new perspective, look at the facts and statements of the manga because that was Toriyama's actual vision, and I think we can get pretty damn close to a legitimate answer. So once and for all, let's find out which form of Majin Buu was the strongest. This might be a long one as we're going to be covering every single form of Buu, but stay with me and let's go ahead and get started. To begin with, let's examine the first Buu that we see, which is the fat evil Majin Buu. To be able to calculate where this Buu's power is, we need to look at the fight between this fat evil Buu and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. If we take a look at manga chapter 280 and 281, it's quite obvious that Goku has a slight advantage over this form of Buu. Now we do come to find out later that in manga chapter 315, Goku actually states that he could have been that first fat Buu, or so he says at least. Goku states to Vegeta, you know, I actually could have been the fat Buu with Super Saiyan 3 when I met him, but I wanted the new generation to make sure that they could take care of themselves. Now, I actually do believe Goku because this shows that he wasn't going all out in that fight, and even with holding back, he had an upper hand on that first evil fat Majin Buu. Therefore, I'd say it's safe to say that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is most likely stronger than that fat evil Buu, but the point of explaining this is to show that that fat evil Buu is just around or slightly below Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which we're going to use later on for power scaling in this video. Let's bring our attention to manga chapter 291 when the fat evil Buu splits into the good Mr. Buu and the Grey Buu. The narrator goes on to say, Buu's anger swelled up within him until popped out another body. He has split into the sweet Buu and the Buu of pure wrath. Okay, let's think about this. If Fat Evil Buu is almost Super Saiyan 3 Goku level, give or take, and split into two beings, that would naturally mean that both Good Buu and the Grey Buu are theoretically weaker than the Fat Evil Buu that fought Goku earlier. Okay, that's fair to say. However, let's take it a step further. Ask yourself, who is the fat evil Majin Buu? Well, let's look here in manga chapter 314 where the Supreme Kai is explaining Kid Buu to Elder Kai. After explaining the North and West Kai were killed, he goes on to state that, then the strongest, the burly god of the South, was the next to go. And Supreme Kai is actually referring to the South Kai being absorbed, obviously. He continues and says, the next to be absorbed was the chubby but gentle great lord of lords. Before this, Buu was pure evil, a failure that Bibbidi himself couldn't handle. But afterwards, he calmed down to the point that Bibbidi was able to bring him under control. Elder Kai then replies with, so the souls he ate tamed him. Now let's elaborate. What this dialogue is showing is that fat evil Majin Buu is heavily suppressed in power due to the absorption of the good-hearted Grand Supreme Kai. This is most likely why this Buu couldn't beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku. The power might have been there, but it was unable to be tapped into fully. Okay, now let's get back to the Grey Buu and the Good Buu. And first, I'm just going to establish here and now that good Mr. Buu is the weakest of all of Buu's forms. This is pretty easy to realize. But the question we need to answer at this point is, who is stronger out of the fat evil Buu and the Grey Buu? Well, due to the evil inside the fat evil Buu being heavily suppressed, I would argue that Grey Buu is actually stronger. Not because he beat the good fat Buu, that has nothing to do with it. However, the Grey Buu is stronger because as we saw, the fat evil Buu didn't have access to that full power of the evil within him. And I know you could say that if the fat evil Buu used all of his power he had within, then he might even be as powerful as Super Buu. But the fact of the matter is that he never did once in the series, and he actually couldn't use it due to the pure soul of the Grand Supreme Kai. Thus, to close this section out, I would say that we can establish that the Grey Buu was stronger than the fat evil Buu, and that the good fat Buu was the weakest of the three. So to start off this second part of the video, we're actually going to pick up right where we left off, and that's at the split of the fat evil Buu. And this is really to explain who Super Buu is. And if you don't know, Super Buu is the Grey Buu just with the fat Buu absorbed. So who is Grey Buu? The Gray Buu is a manifestation of the evil or the wrath that was suppressed within the fat evil Majin Buu. Essentially, he is an image of Buu's raw evil power. Now stay with me here. When he eats the good Buu, he is actually absorbing him. And what he is absorbing is the rest of the power of the South Kai and the Grand Kai. Thus, Super Buu is born, and he basically is the opposite of the fat evil Buu. And to elaborate, instead of the fat evil Buu having evil and massive power deep inside that he couldn't utilize, Super Buu, who is still an image of Buu's evil, gains all of that dormant power with no restraint. Therefore, it's more than fair to say that he is absolutely stronger than every Buu we have seen thus far at this point in the show. And this is proven by statements from Piccolo. In chapter 292, after Super Buu is born, Piccolo states to Krillin, "He's transformed, all because of some idiot human. Now his body is perfectly suited to battle, and his soul is pure rage." While nothing exactly more about power in this quote, it's important to note how much Piccolo is trembling. Even Goku is worried, as you can see, and remember, he already fought that fat evil Buu who he thought he could beat. And not to mention, he's on the world of the Kais, very, very far away from Earth, and is still sensing him. And to add, in chapter 294, we even see Piccolo telling Trunks and Goten that this new Super Buu is stronger than the Fat Buu. We see Trunks and Goten as they're in shock that Buu has changed, and Piccolo states, "In every way he is more powerful still." So at this point of the video, we have established that Super Buu is stronger than the Fat Evil Buu, the Fat Good Buu, and the Gray Buu. Now before we talk about Super Buu's transformations, let's discuss the mighty Kid Buu. Kid Buu, as most of you know, is Buu's original form and is known as Pure Buu. This form of Buu is known to be his most dangerous form, as stated by the Supreme and Elder Kai. If we bring our attention back to chapter 314, we'll see the rest of Elder Kai's and Supreme Kai's conversation. Elder Kai replies to Supreme Kai's story with, "So the souls he ate tamed him," and goes on to ask, "Then this small Buu is the very first, most difficult one?" Supreme Kai responds with, "Yes, he's lost the soul he gained. This Buu is evil incarnate." Now, it's important to know that I'm not establishing at this point that Kid Buu is not the most powerful form. Rather, I am just establishing that the Kais do not say most powerful, but say most dangerous and troublesome. And yes, I know about the statements in the anime about Kid Buu being the most powerful, so I get that this gets confusing. But those statements were not in the manga, and again, to get our answer today, we have to look at Toriyama's vision. But let's move forward. To get a gauge at Kid Buu's power, we have to look at some dialogue between Goku and Vegeta during the fight between Goku and Kid Buu. If we take our attention to manga chapter 316, we see Goku telling Vegeta, "You're right, Buu is stronger than I imagined." Vegeta replies with, "And so, Kakarot, are you? Don't mind me, finish him off. Build up your ki with Super Saiyan 3, and you should be able to obliterate him." Goku then says, "I'd have to rev up for a whole minute to get enough power." Now let me explain. Goku and Vegeta are basically saying that Super Saiyan 3 Goku, at full power, can obliterate Kid Buu. However, we have to take this with a grain of salt because this is their opinion, and it's most likely a wrong opinion. Of course, we know Goku's body couldn't build up the power, so there is that factor, but even if he could, I would argue that Kid Buu is still more powerful than him because of how he had to be killed. Think about it. It took a super spirit bomb with the Genki of everyone on Earth, plus Goku's raw power behind it to actually destroy Kid Buu. Therefore, Kid Buu is definitely stronger than Goku, which means he's definitely stronger than the Fat Evil Buu and the Fat Good Buu. I also believe that he's stronger than the Gray Buu because, again, Gray Buu was basically just a representation of Kid Buu in a sense, a display of the evil, whereas Kid Buu, he's the real deal, sort of say. I hope that makes sense. Regardless though, the main question now becomes, who is stronger out of Super Buu and Kid Buu? Let's look at manga chapter 312. We have Goku and Vegeta. They have just freed Trunks, Goten, Gohan, and Piccolo, and Buu reverts back to his regular Super Buu form. Goku then states, "Yeah, he's a lot weaker, see? His ki is smaller." Vegeta says, "Then let's blow ourselves out of here." Now mind you, he's saying to go outside of Buu. Goku replies with, "Wait, he's still stronger than either of us. He'll kill us if we go out like this. You just had to break the Potara." First thing, the key phrase that's mentioned is Goku saying if we go out like this, meaning outside of Buu's body. And I emphasize this to y'all because I've seen a lot of people make the argument that Goku is saying they will get killed at that moment inside Buu's body because their power is weaker from being smaller in size. However, Goku is clearly saying that there will be toast outside of Buu's body, where they'll be at their full body sizes and their full power capacities. And to add to the argument, Goku brings up the Potara fusion and how it was a mistake for Vegeta to break his earring. It's quite obvious that Goku is feeling that the only way that they could win at this moment is through fusion. But now let's flip the coin and let's look at Kid Buu. For the last time, we're going to go back to manga chapter 314 after Super Buu turns into the Buff Buu, which is only for a moment, so we're not going to cover it, and then Buff Buu into Kid Buu. We see Vegeta say, "Look, it's our little friend." Then Goku says, "Yeah, we could take him." Now remember, just a few minutes ago, it was a fact that Goku and Vegeta thought they would be killed instantly by Super Buu without the Potara fusion. Actually, Goku, who is capable of Super Saiyan 3, mind you, is specifically the one that is saying Super Buu would destroy them, and he is also the one that is saying that they can take Kid Buu. Now let's think through everything we've discussed and break this down. Goku, who thought that he could fully utilize the power of Super Saiyan 3, thought that he could kill the fat evil Buu and Kid Buu, but not once did he think it was enough for Super Buu. He didn't even want to try to fight, and he highlights how the fusion would have been the only way to win versus Super Buu. And I know that Goku obviously miscalculated his own power potential, but that doesn't mean that he can't still sense power levels accurately. We know who Goku is as a character, and if he thought there was even a 1% chance of beating Super Buu with his own power, we know he would have tried. Think about it. That's who Goku is. And again, to cover all bases, let's talk about the Genki Dama. I want to bring this up because there's a lot of people that say Ultimate Gohan gave his energy to that Spirit Bomb and it still wasn't enough to defeat Kid Buu. So that must mean that since Ultimate Gohan beats Super Buu, Kid Buu must be stronger. But this is wrong. Listen, the thing is that with the Spirit Bomb, it's using Genki, which is spiritual or good health energy. It's not a representation of raw battle power or battle ki. It has nothing to do with the fighting energy of an individual, so that argument stops there. And like I said earlier, since it did take a Spirit Bomb to beat Kid Buu, we'll give credit where it's due, and we can say that he's definitely more powerful than Goku and Vegeta thought, but he's still not to Super Buu's power level. Now lastly and finally, I would like to briefly talk about Super Buu with Gotenks absorbed and Gohan absorbed. I saved this part for the end of the video because, to be honest, it's quite obvious that these transformations of Super Buu are Buu's strongest forms. To break it down simply, Gotenks is stronger than Ultimate Gohan. It's pretty simple to observe that Gotenks dominated Gohan, and we know that Ultimate Gohan is stronger than Super Buu. Easy, right? And then we got Buuhan. We know that Buu with Gohan absorbed is the strongest form of Buu in the series because of a simple fact. The only person to be able to beat that form of Buu was the great Vegito. And Vegito, for a fact, dominates everybody in the original Z series and the manga. There is no debate for this. No questions need to be asked. Buu with Ultimate Gohan absorbed is the strongest form of Buu to ever exist. In closing, to give my final conclusion, based on everything we've discussed today, I'd say the rank of power for Majin Buu's different forms, from weakest to strongest, goes as follows. We have Good Fat Buu, Fat Buu with Evil Suppressed, Gray Buu, Kid Buu, Super Buu, Gotenks, and then Buuhan, who takes the title of the mightiest Majin Buu. Everyone, if you made it to the end of this video, I want to say thank you and I appreciate you watching. If you like the content, definitely subscribe to stay up to date with all of my future projects, and if you can, hit that like button as it really does help get this video spread out to other fans. Let me know what y'all think down below. I love seeing everybody's thoughts, whether you agree with me or not. Lastly, as always, stay strong, take care, and until next time, never give up. Peace!